Port Charles thought it had seen every betrayal imaginable, but nothing, and no one, could have prepared them for this. In a stunning turn that rips through the canvas, the sweet-faced heroine everyone loved has been unmasked as the ruthless, calculating mole behind the two fires that almost destroyed the city. Welcome to the age of Jocelyn Jack's darkest secret. It began on a humid Port Charles night when the air felt heavy with secrets no one could name. At the Metro Court rooftop bar, Jocelyn Jacks leaned on the glass railing, eyes fixed on the shimmering lights across the harbor. To anyone watching, she was just Sonny's stepdaughter, Carly's stubborn girl, a college student trying to move on from heartbreak. But inside, her thoughts twisted like coiling smoke. She replayed the words of the man she answered to now. "It's time, Jocelyn. Port Charles needs to burn, and you'll light the match." That man was Nolan Sidwell, the ruthless billionaire power broker who'd slithered his way into the shadows of Port Charles. Everyone underestimated him. Everyone except Jocelyn. And it was Jocelyn who'd given Sidwell the one thing he needed: access. She had no idea the cost her soul would pay. The first fire struck at the Port Charles Free Clinic, just as the hospital charity gala spilled over into the neighboring building for a surprise dedication ceremony. Guests smelled the smoke seconds before flames tore through the East Wing. At first, no one suspected arson. The city blamed old wiring, a tragic accident. But backstage, Sonny Corinthos, Jason Morgan, and Anna Devane all exchanged glances. They'd been on high alert since Sidwell arrived. Jocelyn had been backstage too. She had just stepped out for a breath of air, her cheeks flushed. When the alarm shrieked, she staggered back, clutching her chest, tears streaming. Cameron, still loyal, wrapped his arms around her. "Joss, it's okay. You're okay." She nodded, shaking, but inside, her stomach twisted in cold horror. "I did this." She had taken a USB Sidwell had handed her. "Just plug this in, babe, and walk away." She'd told herself she wouldn't. But then she remembered Sidwell's threat. "Do it, or your mother pays the price." The fire almost killed 2 nurses and a patient. It destroyed expensive equipment meant to help Port Charles's poorest citizens. And the guilt began to gnaw at Jocelyn like acid. Yet she told herself she had no choice. People assumed Sidwell kept henchmen from the mob or mercenaries from abroad. They never imagined his most effective operative would be a blonde college student still grieving a complicated love story with Dex. Sidwell saw potential in Jocelyn before anyone else did. He whispered to her anger, "Your family used you. Sonny used you. You deserve power. And I can give it to you." At first, Jocelyn resisted. But Sidwell knew how to break her. He started small, helping cover a debt Cameron had, arranging an internship that kept Trina safe from Brennan's men. Then, piece by piece, he twisted her loyalty until she was bound to him by guilt and fear. Jocelyn told herself she was protecting her family, that if she didn't obey, Sidwell would target Carly, or Michael, or even Donna and Avery. But by then, it wasn't just fear. Sidwell fed her ambition too. "You could run this town, Joss. Be the queen your mother always tried to be." The second fire was deliberate from the start. This time, the target was more personal. Aurora Media's archive vault, where Drew and Michael had stored incriminating evidence against Sidwell. Sidwell ordered Jocelyn to do it. "No USB this time, princess. A lighter, some solvent, and you walk away." Jocelyn protested. "You said no one would get hurt." Sidwell smirked. "If you'd listened the first time, we wouldn't be here. Burn it." On the night of the fire, Jocelyn dressed in black, heart pounding so loud she thought the guards could hear it. She slipped inside the basement archive, the musty air thick with dust and secrets. With trembling hands, she poured the solvent. "Just this room," she promised herself. "No one will get hurt." But as flames spread, they consumed more than paper. Drew had been working late on the top floor. When the smoke alarms went off, he barely escaped. In the chaos, Jocelyn fled through a service corridor. When firefighters dragged Drew coughing from the smoke, she watched from the shadows, tears streaming, whispering, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Jason Morgan had returned to Port Charles, haunted by secrets of his own. But nothing prepared him for the clue he found: security footage from a side door, showing a figure who moved like Jocelyn. Anna Devane, too, had begun to suspect there was a mole. After the second fire, she confronted Carly. "I hate to say this, but someone very close to you may be helping Sidwell." Carly bristled. "Don't you dare accuse my daughter." But privately, Carly wondered. Jocelyn had changed. The girl who once wore her heart on her sleeve had become colder, secretive. Jason and Anna compared notes. The mole had to be someone with access to family meetings. Someone who knew when evidence was moved to the Aurora vault. And Jocelyn had been there every time. Sidwell had promised Jocelyn he'd protect her family. But she began to see cracks in his lies. When Dex was attacked outside Kelly's by men loyal to Sidwell, she begged Sidwell to call them off. "Not my problem," Sidwell shrugged. "You did what I asked." "But Dex? He's expendable." The words froze Jocelyn's blood. Sidwell never saw her as an ally, only a pawn. Haunted by what she'd done, she began drinking more, skipping classes. Trina tried to help, but Jocelyn shut her out. "You wouldn't understand," she snapped. The guilt clawed at her every waking hour. And still, Sidwell demanded more. The truth exploded one stormy night. Carly and Jason cornered Jocelyn in her dorm room. "We know," Jason said quietly. "We know you were there both nights." At first, Jocelyn denied it. But when Carly whispered, voice breaking, "Baby, tell me it isn't true," something inside Jocelyn shattered. Through sobs, she confessed. "He made me do it. Sidwell, he threatened you, Mom. He threatened Donna." Carly, eyes glistening with horror and heartbreak, whispered, "Oh, Joss." Jason's face was unreadable. "We can fix this," he said. "But only if you help us bring him down." Jocelyn hesitated. Turning on Sidwell meant risking everything. But the pain in Carly's eyes convinced her. This was the only way to save her soul. With Jason and Anna's help, Jocelyn agreed to wear a wire. They planned to catch Sidwell confessing to ordering the fires. The meeting took place in Sidwell's private suite at the Metro Court. Jocelyn walked in, heart hammering. Sidwell, lounging with a drink, smiled. "So, what's the problem, sweetheart?" Jocelyn forced a smile. "I want out. I did what you asked. Now leave my family alone." Sidwell laughed, low and dangerous. "You think it works like that? You're in this forever, princess. You started those fires. Not me." Jocelyn pushed, voice trembling. "But you told me to do it. You threatened my mom." "Say it." Sidwell's eyes narrowed. "Of course I told you, idiot. You think I risk my own neck? You're my insurance." Outside, Jason clenched his jaw. "Got him." Before the police could storm the room, Sidwell sensed the trap. His gaze flicked to Jocelyn's collar. "You're wired." Jocelyn's eyes widened. "No." Sidwell lunged, ripping the wire free. "You betrayed me." Before he could react, Jason and Anna burst in, guns drawn. Sidwell tried to flee but was tackled to the ground. Even as they cuffed him, Sidwell sneered at Jocelyn. "You think this ends it? Everyone will know what you did." His words chilled her to the bone. Sidwell was charged with conspiracy, arson, and attempted murder. But the DA also had to decide what to do about Jocelyn. She confessed everything to the police. "I'm guilty," she whispered. "But I never wanted anyone to get hurt." Carly stood by her daughter's side, torn between pride and heartbreak. Public opinion was merciless. Social media exploded. Jocelyn Jacks, firestarter, traitor. Former friends crossed the street to avoid her. Dex visited her once, face raw with hurt. "Joss, why didn't you tell me?" "I thought I could fix it alone," she whispered. "Now you don't have to be alone anymore," he said softly, though his eyes were full of pain. As the trial loomed, Jocelyn made a choice: to speak publicly. At a press conference outside the courthouse, she faced flashing cameras. "I betrayed my family, my friends, and my city. There's no excuse. But I was manipulated, threatened, and I let fear win.
I'm sorry.
I will spend the rest of my life trying to make it right." Some hearts softened. Others stayed cold. But for the first time in months, Jocelyn felt free. Sidwell awaits trial, but his shadow lingers over Port Charles. Other secrets he buried threaten to surface. And Jocelyn, once the city's golden girl, walks through town, a fallen angel learning to rise again. Jason, ever the protector, quietly watches over her. Carly rebuilds her faith in her daughter, brick by painful brick. Dex, torn but still in love, offers cautious hope. People make mistakes, Joss. It's what you do next that matters. Jocelyn knows her journey won't end in court. She carries the scars of what she did and the knowledge that even heroes can fall. But she also carries something else: resolve. Because in Port Charles, redemption is never impossible, and even those who burned it all down can find the strength to rebuild. No one in Port Charles imagined that Jocelyn Jacks could become Sidwell's secret weapon, the mole behind the two fires that nearly destroyed the city. But secrets have a way of surfacing. And now, as she faces justice, Jocelyn's fight to save her soul has just begun.